Hey, it works. All right. So, I've been talking about possibly running a one shot of Heroes Unlimited soon. And in doing so, I would like to make some pre-gens for the players, since I think the people playing in it, for the most part, are all new to Palladium books. I've never played it. So I figured I'll make a character. We'll do random rolls for all of them, their powers and stuff. Unless I just don't like something, I might just overrule it. But I'm going to use the generic character sheet right here. I'm not going to fill out the name, the gender. I might even skimp a little on some of the skills just to keep it simple for the players. In fact, I might even just say skill programs, and that's it. And so, if like demolitions or whatever. It's been a while since I've made a Heroes Unlimited character, I'll be honest. But Heroes Unlimited is what got me into role playing games back in '97. So I'm going to make what I feel is a very simple character for a new player, but I'm going to do it random. So I'm going to use the Powers Unlimited. I believe it's the third one that has the table, the most up to date table. So there's going to be some time of me just looking things up. But I believe this has the new table in it. New random super abilities tables. And I think it's early on, maybe not. Maybe it is in the back. But I want to make it so whatever character types are just completely random. I'm going to let the players choose. Hey, Jay Anderson, is your name John? What's the J stand for? Welcome, by the way. But yeah, I'm going to use definitely this table in 3 for the powers. So I know that's there. Gosh, I feel like is this one just all powers? Is that why it's not in here? Yes, this one's all powers. Okay, so it's the second book. Second book has the table for the character types. Yeah, random power category table. Okay, so I'm going to use on page 7. It says page 7. However, is it on page 7? Yes. So I'm going to use this right here for how to determine the types of characters. So I'll roll. I got my dice right here. Hey, Paul, I'm glad you could join. Honestly, I think Heroes Unlimited is really easy. The thing is character creation can be very difficult with Palladium books. It's sometimes hard to find what you need. But the actual system itself is pretty easy. It's basically D20. Skills are a percentage. You roll your percentile dice and you either succeed or fail. I do something that I don't think is in the books, but I add difficulties to certain skills. And so I'll say, okay, roll your percentile, but add 10% or add 30%. Or sometimes I'll say, but remove your target number by 10% or whatever. So I'll adjust what your percentage target is. As for when you go to like hit something, it's not just a static number you have to hit. If it's above a 4, I think you hit. And the thing is, though, is that almost every character is going to use their defense, like parrying, dodging. So it's not a set number. It is whatever the opposed roll is. So it's a lot of opposed rolls for that. So that's, I think the hardest thing is that you always have a choice, is what it comes down to. Even on defense, you're not waiting for your turn necessarily. If you're getting hit, you can actually react. If it's hand-to-hand combat, you can parry automatically as long as you have a fighting style. If it's a ranged attack, you can choose to dodge. So there's different things like that. But it's ultimately, I think the system is not as bad as a lot of people say about Palladium books. Just my take on it. When it comes to how damage is done, you have hit points, but you also have SDC. The way to think about it that I always describe it is SDC is kind of like your pain threshold. And then hit points are like your life. Like if you're losing hit points, you're bleeding out basically. If you get shot by a gun, I think it goes directly to your hit points. It might be half to your hit points. I can't remember. Again, I'll have to look it up before I run the game here soon. But these characters, I'm going to have 4 characters made. I'm going to make one tonight. The and then I'll explain the overall rules before we play, and and that'll be on my channel as well. But yeah, it's just I think the hardest thing is just that there's options. There's always an option, whether it's defensively, offensively. Not only can you parry, you can choose to entangle. If you get hit, you can choose to roll with the punch, so lessen the damage a little. Um, but yeah, it's not too bad. It's just a lot of opposed rolls. Some people think it slows down the game, but if you know the person's about to hit you, say, okay, this person's swinging at you, you should already be knowing if you're going to want to do something defensively anyway, and roll your dice also. It shouldn't be, oh well, they rolled really high, so I'm just going to not, I'm just going to take it. You should be rolling at the exact same time. You should know what you want to do, kind of thing. Obviously, when you're new, it doesn't go like that. But after a couple sessions, usually you get people going, "Oh, he's swinging at me. Okay, yeah, I'm totally gonna parry it." Or, "Oh, he's shooting a gun at me. I'm gonna take it," because I know that I'm -10 to dodge and yada yada yada, things like that. Or I think it's -5 or something in Heroes Unlimited, um, as opposed to Rifts. Same system, slightly different rules. They want to promote more heroic actions in Heroes Unlimited, whereas Rifts is more gritty and deadly. In fact, MDC kills you like one shot if you're an SDC character. So that's the way to kind of think of it. Now, let me pull out some dice. We will determine the first type of character. I know one of the players who has confirmed that he wants to play is going to want to be a speedster or acrobatics character. So hopefully that's what I end up with. Like I said, I'm going to roll 4 types of characters. I'm going to start with the character types. Now I know if you go based on the Heroes Limited core book tells you to roll attributes and stuff first. I'm going to choose my power category. And the reason is because some power categories have different orders, like the order of things, than starting with attributes up front. Like I might roll robotics. Well, if that's the case, I don't need to do attributes. So there's different things like that. So I'm going to take percentiles. I'm going to roll on this table in Heroes Unlimited 2, page 7. And I ended up with 53%. So this first character, I hate this. I'm going to bypass it. I'm not doing any psionics or any magic. So we're going to skip that. We're also not going to do any mega heroes. All right. So let's roll again. 13. Robotics. Okay, so this first character is going to be robotics. This will be interesting. So I'm just going to write that on my sheet somewhere. I don't think it tells you in here where. No. So I'm just going to write it in the top left. Robotics. All right. So robotics, you get a budget to build a character. It could be like a Terminator. It could be like RoboCop. It could be all sorts of things. Robotics are kind of cool. Like I said, you get a budget so you can determine the types of things that this gets. Now, this is going to be an interesting character because I don't make a lot of robotics characters. The thing is I have to personalize this now. So I'm going to try and make it a little bit well-rounded. Let me look up what page robotics is. Here's the core book for Heroes Unlimited. This is 2nd edition. I also have 1st edition. I have TMNT. I've got some other stuff as well. No, you should not drink while playing this the first time. I'm not a big drinker when I game anyways, unless it's something like really simple. Like for me, 5th edition D&D, I'll drink while playing that. But not if I'm running it. I won't drink while running. 192. So then I'll go based on the order it tells me to create a character for a robotics character. So 192. Determining the budget. So I'm going to roll percentiles again because there's another table. There's lots of tables in this book. I've done a flip through Friday on this. If you're interested in seeing every page in the book, a general overview, you can go there. And I kind of talk about every page in this book. So I've got 70%, which is $12.5 million. So 12.5 million. All right. So I got that down. All right. So that's that. Step 2, selecting a robot intelligence. Type 1, mechanical body, and Type 3, exoskeleton robots. Do not require an artificial intelligence since they are piloted by a living operator. Skills and abilities are those possessed by the operator/driver, although they may be augmented through the robot or exoskeleton. Type 2 robots and Type 4 robots, androids, must have an artificial or transferred intelligence to direct and control the machine. There are 3 types of intelligence systems available: standard, 1.1 million, advanced, 3.5, transferred intelligence or consciousness, 3.9 million. Wow. So you could have, for transferred, basically it used to be a person or something where they took someone's conscious and put it in a machine, like RoboCop. The standard is a computer brain with a limited scope of intelligence, limited in that it operates like most standard computers and can only respond as programmed. Furthermore, the robot has limited memory and skills. Granted, these super sophisticated machines are far more complex and superior to desktop computer. Yada yada yada. And then the advanced is almost human in that it can think in both objective and subjective terms. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to go with. Looks like I have to select it. I wonder if I should roll for it. Let's just roll for it, right? The psionics characters just... Well, psionics and magic characters, you are limited in how much you can use your abilities. Whereas if you're any other type of character with superpowers, you can always use your powers. It's not like you have so many uses per day. And so because it's a one-shot, I feel like psionics and magic characters are for more advanced players. You have to keep track of your energy, your magic points, basically. So it's ISP and PPE, depending. So PPE is if you're a magic user. Think of it as mana. And the same thing for PPE. It's ISP, inner strength points. It's like mana. So that's the issue I have with those. To try and keep track of that, if you've never played the game, I just feel like it's easier to not worry about that. That's why I'm not going to have psionics or magic characters. Plus, for a Heroes Unlimited game, I feel like you want something more heroic. And not that those things aren't, but again, they're just limiting. It's more things to keep track of. So we'll just go with for this character, it's going to be robotic. I think if you want a challenge, I think those are fine. I don't think if you're starting out that you should try those. If you've played Heroes Unlimited, like I said, then yeah, challenge yourself. Sometimes always being super strong is awesome. And you could just do it the whole time, but you get stronger as the campaign goes because when you level, you get more hit points and other things. Your abilities sometimes get stronger too, depending on the abilities. Whereas with spells, it's the same thing. Like they get stronger, but you're limited in use. Like if I can fly as an experimental character, I can always fly, right? But if I'm a magic character and I use levitate, which also isn't as good as flying, I'm limited in how many times I can use it. Even though it's almost the same thing, it's just weak. It's not as good, and I'm limited now because I'm using magic points for it. So it's not. It's like hard mode, or harder, not hard, harder mode for Heroes Unlimited, if that makes sense. All right, I'm gonna roll for this. So there's 4 types. I'm just going to roll percentiles. First through 20 or 0 through 25 is mechanical. 26 through 50 is robots. 51 through 75 is exoskeleton, and 76 through 100 is androids. So that's how I'm doing this. I ended up with 14. So this is just going to be a mechanical body. So basically, it's like a power armor, right? Mechanical body. Let me pull this up. Basically, you're going to have an operator. I guess it's not a power armor. That's more like exoskeleton. All right. So it's basically like a robot vehicle. This type of robot. So they even have a picture that kind of shows that's like a robot vehicle. It's almost like a power armor or something. But it's basically you're in it, but you're exposed. It looks like, right? This robot tends to be less expensive because it requires a human operator or pilot and not a costly artificial intelligence. The machine can be any type of body styles, vehicular, humanoid, or animal, but must be large enough to accommodate a pilot. This means the robot must always be large and bulky, at least the size of a mid-sized automobile. Basically, a super sophisticated vehicle, the pilot must operate the robot body through a series of manual controls, such as levers, joysticks, pedals, buttons, and even steering wheel. While this might sound both difficult and primitive, it is actually no more difficult than piloting a jet or helicopter. With practice, the robot body can be made to move as quickly and as fluidly as any of the other robot types. Voice actuation and or telemental helmet activation controlled by brainwaves will enhance maneuverability even more. Remember, the Type 1 robot requires a living flesh and blood pilot and cannot function without him. For game purposes, we presume that the pilot is trained in all aspects of the robot's operations. This does not include construction, but does include maintenance and minor repairs, up to 50 SDC of damages. Okay, so we're going to call it a Type 1 vehicle. And now, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Make it like Ultron or like animals like from Power Rangers. This is going to be cool. All right. So robot vehicle and up to 50 SDC of repairs. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right. So for the sake of this, I'm going to have 2 character sheets. I'm going to make a generic human, 30 SDC, 6 hit points, and then the training to operate this vehicle. But for the most part, a normal person. And then I'm going to do for the robot, even all attributes are going to be pretty basic. I'll roll them, but yeah. And then for the robot, then I'm going to have to do something else. All right, Type 1 robot pilot is created very much like any other super character, except you don't roll for superpowers. His power comes through the piloting of the robot. So attributes and hit points. So we'll do it. I'll just do the 3d6 like it wants me to, I guess. We'll just do it. Just do it. Go all out. Maybe I'll feel inspired and keep going and make a second character after this. The way Palladium works is 3d6 down the line for attributes, by the way. So right now I'm rolling for IQ. I've got 11. I've got 15. Okay. Now I'm rolling for mental endurance. I got 8, so that's not very good. Mental affinity, 10. Physical strength, 14, so he's mildly strong. Physical prowess, think of agility, is 12. Physical endurance is 14. Physical beauty is 9. And speed is 15. All pretty average. In fact, I don't think any of those get bonuses. Palladium's bonus system is different than D&D. I think you have to have, minimum 16. I don't have anything that gets a bonus. So anything 15 or less is just nothing. No bonuses. It is what it is. I mean, for lifting and carrying things, you multiply it and things like that to see how much you can carry and stuff. But for the most part, you're not actually getting any kind of mechanical benefit if it's under 16. Hey, Victor, thanks for joining. Yes, Heroes Unlimited is awesome. So Victor says, "Hello, I run Heroes Unlimited many times and I'm assuming he means have been having lots of fun with the system. I love Heroes Unlimited. First system I ever got into. I used to create characters constantly because I couldn't find a gaming group. So I rolled a robotic character, and I ended up randomly rolling for the type of robot, and I got a robot vehicle. So right now I'm going through with the pilot character. I just did his attributes. Nothing was above a 15. So obviously he gets no bonuses to any of his attributes or anything. So that's that. Oh, I did miss. It says add 1d4 to your physical prowess attribute. Interesting. I did not notice that. So let me just do that real quick. Got a 3. So, yep. So that's just up to 15. So again, still no benefits to any of these attributes. That's okay. That is okay. All right. Now, alignment. I'm going to make all of them principled. All the characters are going to be good. And that's just to keep it simple. All right. And again, I said before I was going to keep things pretty general with skills. I'm not going to put too much work into the skills just because, again, it's new players. So select one computer program, one piloting program, hand-to-hand expert can be upgraded to martial arts for the cost of one. So everyone will be probably the same in these regards. He's going to be an expert. As for computer program, see, so now here's one of the things I hate. I have to now flip to another part of the book for the skills before I come back to this part. Again, I love Heroes Unlimited. I just think the skills are they're crunchy. There's a lot of them, and you really flavor your character out. But a lot of times, depending on the game master, you might not do a lot with your skills. A lot of your skills might just be on a character sheet and you never use them. So that's unfortunate. All right, so I have to pick one computer program and one piloting program. So computer program, there's basic electronics, computer operations, computer programming, computer repairs, or one radio skill of choice. I think I'm going to go with just basic electronics. And I'm just going to put it under scholastic skills. And the reason I'm just doing this is because I want it so if you're working on your robot, you could do electrical repairs. So that makes sense to me. So we'll do that. Now I have to pick one piloting program. I still don't know what kind of vehicle this is going to be. So under programs, it just says pilot basic, available as secondary skills, and pilot advanced program navigation, air, land, water, read sensory equipment, weapon systems, blah, blah, blah. So I don't like how that's set up. So I'm just going to go and pick something more specific. Um, What should this guy's vehicle be? I could do a motorcycle. I could do a helicopter, hovercraft, jet aircraft, jet fighter, jet packs, submersible, tanks. I can give him a tank. I don't know if I can afford it. Yes, I agree. So Paul asked, because you guys won't see this if you're watching this not live, what would you recommend for new players? Like what sort of hero? And Victor said, a mutant. It's easier to deal with. There's a table of powers in the book. I allow the players to pick from that table. The player can tailor the power to his or her powers, the character idea. Yeah, normally I do, if I'm doing a campaign, which I've done in the past, is I usually say, okay, what is your concept? Even if it's a real hero, like someone might say, oh, I want to be like Superman. Okay, so you want to be able to fly and lift heavy things. Or are you more interested in the X-ray vision or whatever? I don't give them everything necessarily, but I tailor it towards what they envision a character being, and then I say, okay, you can choose one major, two minors. Major superpowers are really defining superpowers. Minor ones aren't. So in the case of like Superman, I would say X-ray vision would be a minor power. And I'm assuming it's a minor power in here. I don't know. But his flight is a very definitive thing. Also, his strength is very definitive. That's what defines Superman. So I might even say you can trade the two minors so for one major. So then you could be two major superpowers. So that's what I normally do. So it sounds like it might be something similar to what Victor does. Or I also say, okay, if you don't have a concept, let's pull out the dice and randomly roll it. And if you don't like it, you can say no. And I let him do that a few times and then pick out of it. We ended up with my wife made a magnetic character. She named it Iron Maiden, and she had long chains with spikes at the end, kind of like grappling hooks. And that's what she used her magnetism for. We ended up with another character called Ragdoll, who was ultra physical structure or what was she called? She wasn't called Ragdoll. She was something else, but she had the ultra physical structure Ragdoll, so she could basically turn into a doll and some other powers. And that was a cool one. My brother-in-law played a character who could transform into like a beast, and it could leap really high and far, had like a super leap ability, and some other things like claws or like changes hands to claws or weapons or something. He had a few different things, but it was really cool. And I like that character as well. We've had some cool characters over the years for sure in Heroes Unlimited. I've made some fun ones. When I first got into it, I really liked the idea of a hardware character who could, create his own weapons and basically was a genius who could create his own gadgets. That I liked that a lot. So um Paul, or I'm sorry, Victor typed something but then it retracted. I didn't even know you could retract comments. um so yeah, again, I'm gonna just generically put things down. So I have to choose a vehicle. I don't know what he's gonna be. What sounds good, guys? Give me something. Motorcycle. Because I feel like that's what he should be a pilot of. I'm leaning motorcycle. I think motorcycle would be cool. It gives him a vulnerability because he's exposed. Let's just go motorcycle. So pilot motorcycle. All right. Yeah. Again, I like the game. I love the stuff in here. I kind of feel like so you have like things like communications, and under it lists a bunch of skills you can have. I almost wish they just put these things on the sheet. Like communications was its own thing, and you could have a plus or minus, and that was the skill. Get rid of all the stuff underneath it to choose from. Just say, hey, you have a pilot skill. This is it. And that's what I think would be really awesome. Paul says, car, got to do Knight Rider. Victor said, I made a very weak Supergirl with 5 minion powers. Oh, minor powers. Yeah, see, I think that's cool too. There's a Rifter that talks about making minor superheroes, so even less than character in here, which is really cool. Basically like sidekicks or high schoolers. All right, Paul, I will make it a car for you. So pilot a car. So now I'm thinking Twisted Metal more than Knight Rider. But yes, pilot car. Okay. So now the other thing. So like when you play D&D and someone's like, oh, I want to use my investigate skill. They want to roll for it. The idea of skills in Palladium books is you only roll. You don't roll every time you drive your car. You roll to maneuver. So for instance, if you're driving fast around a corner, above the speed limit, then you would roll so you don't lose control. That's the idea. You don't always just roll because you're driving a car, for example. Welcome, Micah. We're just creating a robotic character who specializes in cars. So that's what we're doing right now. So I made him a hand-to-hand expert. All right, back to the actual character stuff. Hand-to-hand expert I gave him. See, so here's the other thing. So I can select 4 basic skills, 1 skill programming of choice, plus 8 secondary skills. That's a lot of things to go through and try to pick. I'm not going to go through and do all that right now. The skills I think are the least interesting part of the game in the way they're handled. So I'll come up with some stuff and I'll put it on the sheet. And then I'll explain it to all the players when we go to play. Like, hey, this is how you do ABC. If I tell you to roll this skill, you're going to roll percentile, yada, yada, yada. Paul says, oh, Feng Shui 2 has a driver class that is a lot like that. I have never played Feng Shui, ever. Automatically gets 2 hand-to-hand attacks, and I think Expert gives 2 more, but we'll just put the first 2 down. And I might even just ignore the extra hand-to-hand attacks, even for bad guys, because, again, you end up with like 3 or 4 attacks usually as a first-level character per round. And a round is 15 seconds. And you have a lot of, things. You can do defensive things like that. But just, it's a lot of stuff. So I might tone it down a little for this game too. And make it so everyone has the same amount. And we'll go into why later. Weapons and armor. Unless the character is extremely wealthy or is supplied by a wealthy sponsoring organization, often the military, only conventional weaponry and armor will be available. So in other words, stuff that you could get like over the counter, at a gun shop, you could get. And you're not going to get RPGs or freaking things like that, but you can get any kind of regular rifle, shotgun, handgun, things like that. All right. All robot pilots are reasonably athletic and get a base SDC of 2d6 plus 28. So I'm at 32 SDC for this guy. So again, think of that kind of like his pain threshold. He can get punched so many times in the face until his SDC is gone, and then it goes straight to hit points. If it's a critical hit, it goes straight to hit points. If it's a weapon like a gun or a knife, then that goes straight to hit points. So that's something to keep in mind. Once your hit points are gone, you're dead. I think once your SDC is gone, I think you're in a coma. Again, I'll have to refresh myself on the rules. But and if you guys know the rules and feel like typing it in the chat, that's cool as well. Micah says, I've been trying to find my old Heroes Unlimited book from my earlier days. Unsuccessfully so far. Paul says, Rachel says, hey, she's watching with me. Hi, Rachel. I'm glad you're watching. So here's the other thing. So I have the budget now for robotics. Now I have to roll my guys' financial resources. Outside the sponsoring organization, which is likely to pay for all expenses of any assignment, and are likely to pay for the character's housing and a salary of 1d4 times $2,000 a month. So 1d4 times $2,000 a month. And we got 3 times 2,000. That's what, 6,000? So $6,000 per month. So he's making some decent money. About $72,000 a year. Monthly salary. So he's not doing too bad. 2d4 times $1,000 are available in ready cash. So what he has right now would be $6,000 in cash saved up. Okay, so he's got a monthly salary's worth of money saved up. Oh no, that's like in his checking account. So sorry, that's his checking account. Checking and cash, we'll say. All right, and then in addition to possible life savings, yada yada yada, character also owns his vehicle type of choice, including utility vehicle, provided it costs under 50 grand. The car is 1d4 years old. Presumably the character has a job, apartment, and reasonable personal possessions. All right. So basically he's going to get a vehicle. So yeah, under 50 grand. We'll just make it a Jeep just for the hell of it. So he'll have regular Jeep and then he'll have a regular car. How about that? Regular car. I don't know what kind yet. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out. All right. So now we know what we're doing. We're building a car. I don't need AI programming. Okay. Background data. Cost, technology, and necessary facilities required for robot experimentation and research is astronomical. Only a multi-million-dollar corporation or government-sponsored agency will have the resources and facilities necessary. So in other words, I'm rolling for the organization that has made his vehicle now. So roll percentiles, and I got 12%. So it is a private industry. Private industry. We'll just call it a private industry, and I'll let whoever is playing this type of character decide, hey, you're the company that built this car for you or worked on it with you is a private industry. What are they, like a contractor for military or what? What time frame am I thinking about? I like to play in the current time. Just it makes it easier, I think. I know Heroes Unlimited was like built for around early 90s, late 80s, mid 80s. A lot of the technology in here is dated like that. But I like the idea of playing in something modern. So Jeep and an old Corolla for vehicles. So he's going to make a Corolla into a fighting machine. So the thing that's going to be hard with this is I have to tailor an adventure that is going to make this character useful. Like if it's a bank robbery or an underground thing, he's not able to do much with his car underground. I mean, I guess he could try, but he's going to wrap it around a turnstile or something. Kevin loves the analog tech. Hey, I'm sure when I get older, I'll love the technology of today. All right, so there's that status with the sponsoring organization. So maybe he stole the vehicle. Let's find out. Status, I got 43%. Okay. So he's allowed to leave after a great antagonism conflict to serve another agency, law enforcement group, or super beings, or as an independent operative. Relations are strained and unfriendly, but the two may aid or associate with each other as the situation requires. So they let him take the vehicle. Probably because he's the only one qualified to use it. Or maybe it was his own personal vehicle. So what that does is that gets rid of his salary. So there's that. Allowed to leave. The one thing I'll say, I like these tables because it gives you a lot of things to draw inspiration from with role playing your character. Like the company that funded your project here, you don't work for them anymore. They let you keep the vehicle. Um, there was some sort of conflict that is why you left, and now you may work with them on certain things, but not really. It's more like you work alongside them, but not with them kind of thing for the same goals. So that's interesting. All right, now let's roll for the quality of the robots. 17%. I'm rolling really poor. So it's an experimental model. You know what? I should have grabbed a blank sheet of paper rather than a character sheet. And gosh, I know better. I always know better. You always write all this stuff on a lined piece of paper first. Oh well. All right, so an experimental model. Laboratory tests unfinished, but field tests have been pushed ahead as the result of budget cuts. There's a 30% chance of malfunctioning roll percentile each time a weapon, device, or special function, extra speed, limb, sensors, etc., is used. May work one time and not another. Oh boy. So 30% chance to not work. I love it. Sounds like a chance to introduce an antagonist group to have conflict with. Yeah, that's the thing. There's so much you can draw inspiration from on with this game. That's within the rules, and every time you play, every time you make a new character, there's just a whole new set of stuff. Oh, but you got a jalopy robot. Yeah, but see, it's a 30% chance of not working that time. So you go to shoot him with your missile. Click, click, click. Doesn't work. Next turn, you try to do it again. Shoot your with your missile. You hit. For some reason, it sticks. I love that. That's so awesome. All right, other stuff, weapons and armor. Other than the robot or android's built-in weapons or special weapons and or equipment supplied by a sponsoring organization, the robot will only have conventional weapons, armor, and equipment. Available financial resources. None. Yep, nope. Okay. Step 6, robot construction. All right, so we decided we were going to make it a car. So now I got to choose, let's see. Oh. Okay, so there's humanoid body styles, which I'm not doing. We're doing vehicular body styles. So we wanted it to be a car. So we can do a compact automobile, a sports car, mid-size sedan, full-size sedan, full-size van, or tank style. I won't do tank style. So we can go up to a full-size van. What do you guys think? The Nova bot. Micah says it's almost like the old arcane spell fail, basically. Paul says the Nova bot. Micah, it's Hammer Tech. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna go get some pieces of paper so I can write on something other than this character sheet. Let me know what you want me to go with. Do you want me to go with a compact, sports, mid-sized, full-sized, or a van? Let me know. I'll be right back. I'm getting some lined paper. Ugh. All right. I'm back. What do you guys come up with? Van? All right. The Flyboys is a gang of high-tech bandits I used as NPCs. The Flyboys may be doing a train heist. A robot car could be useful. Remember, cars can be made to fly. Hey, Alejandro, I'm making a robotic character right now with a vehicle. It's actually a pilot. It's a normal person who pilots a car that's a robot. And we are building it out right now. Victor says a van. Paul says go big with the robo. All right, so we're going with a van. All right, so the full-size van costs $24,000. So let me see. I gotta. Character creation's a little bit complex. I kind of went over some of it. I'm in the process of it. It takes a while. Because it's a robotic character, I have a budget of $12.5 million, which is a lot. I probably won't use it all. So we're going to go full-size van. And the full-size van is going to cost $24,000. Nothing too big, nothing too crazy there. Doesn't really hurt the budget. That gives us 476. $12,476,000 still. That's funny. I should charge tax. All right. Yeah, it's not going to be inconspicuous though. The money limit, I mean, good observation. Yeah, it won't be inconspicuous, I'm sure. Could be a work van without back windows, so no components can be seen. Alejandro says maybe windows that show something that isn't there. Some holograms, expensive. I don't know how much. Maybe. So we'll see. I'm going to keep going through here. We'll pick out some more things. All right. So we got the vehicle type. Geometric body styles, animal body styles, which we're not doing. Let's see. Power supply. Oh, by the way, this vehicle has a 30% chance of not working. So anytime you're using a function of the vehicle, such as guns, missiles, extra speed that's put on the vehicle, or anything that's been put into it, there's a 30% chance it won't work. So that's something I'm pretty excited about. All right. Do we want to put a power supply? You have liquid fuel, which is normal. That's the gas, basically. Yeah, that's basically gas. But we can replace it with a solar engine, fusion power, or micro fusion power. I will tell you that a solar engine is $1 million. Fusion is 3.2 and microfusion is 5.3 million. Or you could just leave it as the gas vehicle that it is. You can have a bigger gas tank though. Yeah. So we could do that. Next we get to pick the type of wheels. Oh, I think that's actually for, you know what? Selection A, body frame, size, and style. Selection B, power supply, and selection C is legs and locomotion. All right. What do we want? Alejandro, storytelling cues. The robot sees the vehicle as his spirit animal. Well, the robot is the vehicle. The pilot is just a normal person. We rolled. There were four types in the beginning. The pilot, instead of being a pilot, could have just been a robot. Could have been an exoskeleton. Could have been, in this case, a vehicle. Could have been artificial intelligence. All sorts of, like, you have four different types. Um, we rolled and ended up with the vehicle type. So you have a normal person whose robot is the vehicle. So yeah, mech druid sounds awesome. All right, despite incredible technological advancements, liquid fuel engines are still likable, reliable, and the most economical system available. The disadvantages of this system are the use of a limited consumable fuel that must be continually replaced in containers to hold the fuel. On the other hand, the fuel is cheap and easily attainable. Liquid fuel requires an exhaust system that is not suitable for androids or Type 4 robots. Basic system cost with fuel tanks, 250 grand. Doesn't make sense. Player determines the size of the gas tank or tanks. Weight and size may be a problem for smaller human sized robots. Okay, so this isn't for that. Fuel in a 75-gallon tank weighs 525 pounds. Takes up about 10 cubic feet. Use of disposable auxiliary gas. All right, we're just going to say it's got normal gas right now, unless you guys think we should update it. I'm not seeing anyone say to upgrade it, so we're not going to. But we could. We could go to microfusion. We're not doing legs. It's going to be wheels. So it's automotive size type, 1,000 per repair, oversized truck or tractor size, micronized roller skate size. Nope. Yeah, no, none of that matters. We'll just go with the normal wheels, so we'll leave that alone. Um, Engines, fuel injected engine, turbo jet engine, concealed helicopter, nope. Hover jet system, no. Micro hover system, standard hover system, jump jets. Unless we want to fly. Do we want it to fly? I guess we can make it fly. I think Robotech, but a car instead of a jet. Yeah, basically we're making like Twisted Metal, if you've ever heard of that video game. Basically, we're taking a car right now and we're turning it into a vehicle of mass destruction. No, the microfusion would always work. I would say the power. You know what? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe you have a 70% chance of it working that day. No, I would say that the power always works. So, okay. Do you guys want me to do microfusion? I'll do it. Microfusion. Tiny micronized fusion reactor designed for small human sized and animal robots and androids. This miniature power system can also be used in larger robots any size if so desired. A regular fusion power system, the most advanced power source available, never needs recharging or refueling for an estimated 6 years, even with constant use. This system is suitable for any large robot or vehicle type robot. It's 16 feet. So we would do the microfusion if you guys want. Yes, the game with it's the ice cream truck with the clown. Yes, you control the person driving it. That'd be the concept of this. And then I had already pointed out, so this character would be a normal person pretty much. If things get hairy and you have to like go somewhere the vehicle can't go, you would have to make the choice to either stay with your vehicle or go with your party. And you only have normal weapons, like you don't have access to like anything crazy weapon wise, unless we decide the group has access to stuff like that. All right, we're going microfusion. I'm just doing it. That way we don't have to worry about gas. It'll go anywhere. Minus 5.2 million. So that would be you're down to $276,000. left. That's still quite a bit. All right, now, so here we go. Do we want it to fly? If we want it to fly, we can make it fly. Micah says microfusion for sure. Yeah, so now it has 6 years of power, no matter what. The car is like the superpower. This case is gadgets. Yes, exactly. Super solar powered, it is a lot cheaper. Yeah, we didn't go that route. It's too late. I already wrote it down. Can the vehicle become smaller? It's a van right now. And shrink the pilot. Right now, no. Technology like that would be very expensive. Yes, it should fly. Okay, so we got to find a way to make this thing fly. Okay, so we could put a helicopter on the top. It's a concealed helicopter VTOL system. This is a flight propulsion system based on the helicopter. Rotor blades are folded in a hidden compartment that rise out and unfold when flight is required. Suitable for any robot type except Android. It's inappropriate for small obstructed areas or indoors. So we could do that. There's a turbojet engine, but it can't be used for anything under 100 miles per hour. So we're automatically going to have to do a fuel-injected engine to drive, I think. So let's do that first. This is the driving part. Fuel-injected engine. Yeah, we'll do that. Oh, wait, no, we were going to make it the microfusion. Sorry, skip that. We're not having a fuel-injected engine. The actual power comes from the microfusion. It's an electronic van. But now we got to figure out how it flies. Supersonic Man. His main villain. Okay, cool. We're doing the helicopter then. So concealed. This isn't even very expensive. I'm surprised. It's $340,000. Base speed of 220 or 150 miles per hour. I don't know why it even gives you that. It says 10 miles to 1 gallon of fuel, but again, we're using the microfusion, so screw that. I'm overriding that. Concealed helicopter. Probably doing this wrong. I don't care. $340,000, which brings us down to $6,936,000 left. It's okay. We've only used half of the budget, and we've done the big things. Okay, so here's some interesting things. We can add additional speed for propulsion. $50 or $500 per each additional point of speed. So, for example, a fuel-injected engine with a base speed of 176 would cost $462,000. For 924 added speed points to achieve a speed of 1100 or Mach 1. Dude, that's like instant crash. Additional altitude cost $50 for each 100 feet. 10,000 feet would cost $500,000 unless stated otherwise. The height, it doesn't say how high the helicopter can go. I'm going to write this down though. It does, we're going to say 150 miles per hour. We're not going to add to the speed or any of that. We're just going to leave it there. So, oh my gosh. You guys always go goofy on me. All right, what's this say? Let's see. Alejandro said his main villain is a rainbow. I like it. Perfect nemesis. The rainbow can summon Power Ranger looking people, each with their own vehicle for each of its colors. Rainbow is made out of the most ancient magic. Super Sentai evils have the most futuristic vehicles. It's got a helicopter van. uh, Malfunctioning van that flies. Hit that speed. Well, yeah, that could be tough if you're flying. It doesn't say how high it can go, so it is what it is. We'll just leave it as is. It has base speed, basic system cost, nothing about altitude with the helicopter, but I have altitudes with the jets and stuff. So that's a little weird. The van on here says it can go 120. I don't see a van going more than like 80 miles per hour. So we're going to say 80 miles per hour is max speed on the van. So that's what we're doing there. We can add arms and hands. We're not going to do that unless you guys want to. Utility arms, usually small retractable arms and hands suited for delicate work. Yeah, that wouldn't work. Tentacles and retractable housing. Tentacles can be used to replace regular arms. Audio, optics, and sensors. Advanced audio system, basic listening system. Bug detector, radar signal detector. We're going to need some of this stuff if we can fly. Wideband radio receiver and transmitter, radio signal scrambler system. External audio pickup, audio recorder, loudspeaker, single voice synthesizer, modulating voice synthesizer, sound analysis computer, inaudible frequency transmission. So that's all audio. Where do you want to go with audio? We'll get, I think in a minute it comes up with weapons and stuff. So we'll get into adding some weapons. Yeah. It's got some weapons coming up. So we'll come up with some things there, I think. Yeah, we'll come up with some cool stuff there. But audio-wise, does any of that sound interesting? I think we should definitely add... All right, so we're going to give this vehicle a CB radio and everything. So this is basically the basic listening system. No? Oh, no, this is the advanced audio system. So advanced audio. Which is radio, CB, police scans. And that's $390,000. Other transmission frequencies, and it's 50 miles, by the way. So that's a good radius. You go into a big city, you'll get everything. All right, so that will take that down to 5. Still over $6 million. Solar powered missile launcher. No, we won't need that now. We won't need that. Most of audio and optic are pretty cheap to get. The van should have them all. Yeah, so it's got the advanced audio system, because with that, you don't need any other radio. Listening system, hearing capacity equal to the best human capabilities. Narrowband radio receiver enables the robot to hear, receive commercial radio and some other common communication frequencies suitable for short-range radio. Range 5 miles. Okay. That's $120,000. Okay. Bug detector, a small device that picks up radio signals from listening devices. All right, so that's only $5,000. So that's kind of weak. And didn't they have errata that changed this? How the budget works? I thought they had errata that changed the budget. Maybe that's for cybernetics. I don't remember. But yeah, I swear I thought they changed that. Fix my sheet of paper here. And let's move the book so I can actually read it well. All right. Sorry, I was checking my phone. Okay. It's second edition. There's only 2 editions. This is the second edition. But I think there's errata for this. Got a radar. Most of this stuff I should really just hand wave, but whatever. Interesting. Okay. Don't need that. Radio scrambler system. So there's going to be a lot of options for whoever plays this too. External audio pickup. Oh, that should have been instead of the basic one. Whatever. Okay. Audio recorder. I'm not even going to write the budget down for this stuff. Not right now. Loudspeaker so you can make announcements outside. Hey, pull over. The vehicle can have a voice synthesizer. So single voice. Oh wait, that you don't need that. That's silly. Okay, modulating voice, sound analysis computer. Okay, this is cool. Computer designed exclusively to listen to, recognize, and analyze sounds. 100,000 different sounds are programmed into its memory, including gunshots, by caliber, automotive engines, and other sounds. It also has the capability to analyze, compare, match, and remember 10,000 new sounds. When combined with a modulating voice synthesizer, the robot can imitate a voice with 83% accuracy. So we will add the modulating voice synthesizer. Okay. So there we go. That's a big chunk between those last two, budget wise. All right. The vehicle can impersonate people. Yeah, so I would probably make it so if you're the pilot, you could talk into the machine and it could take what you say with the modulating and the analysis and flip it into how somebody else would say it. That's probably how I would do it. I think that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, it makes it sound, even uses their vernacular, like their everything, their lingo. It translates it. So if you talk how you normally would, it would translate it to how somebody else would say it. By radar gem. Yeah, why not? Yeah, definitely. Inaudible frequency transmission. The robot can speak and transmit sound frequencies inaudible to the human ear, but may be audible to other robots, cyborgs, and super beings with superior hearing abilities. Hell, why not? We'll add that too. By the way, I've written a lot so far, and we're not even close to done. I'm just in audio. I haven't gotten to optics, haven't done sensors. In fact, we're about to do optics now. Haven't done sensors. We haven't done weapons. We haven't done other bonuses to the vehicle, like body armor. We haven't done any of that. So we still got like 4 pages of the book to go through. Teleportation. Unfortunately, that's not in the book, but it could be in a later book. They just have never released Technology Unlimited, which is the book that I wish they would. There's a few things. I've wanted them for 8 years to release a Technology Unlimited book that not only has modern day technology to it, but adds to the robot categories, lays out the robot categories better, does the same thing for cybernetics and hardware characters. I think it could focus on those three types of characters, maybe even aliens. Put aliens in the very back. Um, and maybe you don't use aliens. I don't know. But you could do a lot with a book about that. I mean, this section is, again, a lot of this stuff is kind of outdated, personally. My personal opinion. Um, Make it so that you can buy things from Amazon. Paul says, so the robot has Bluetooth? Why not? Micah, sassy robot car is totally going to talk shit to other robots about you behind your back. But the car doesn't have artificial intelligence. If I gave it artificial intelligence, that would extend the budget right there. Like, that'd be it. We'd have like $2 million of budget left. Um, Voice synthesizer would be a lot then. 10 times the stated numbers would make sense to me. Alejandro, I have crumbs in between my seats always. Victor, you mean it would be more expensive if it did that? Is that what you're trying to say? I'm just trying to make a way to make it fun. I don't think it's something you would use very often. And that's the only reason. Mm. And I'm saying to the synthesizer in combination with the sound analysis computer. I'm allowing it. That's all. Yeah, but the power books don't go far into it. There's not a lot into it. Like I've got all three right here, and there's not a ton there. There's extra stuff about different things, but like you're talking about the super invention character and things like that. I still think a whole book could be done for Technology Unlimited. Just my take. But why do you always get burgers? You know there is a decent taco truck. Sassy Robot is concerned. Is this random character creation only? Yes. Yeah, pretty much, except I'm doing a robot character, so it's not really random anymore. No, no, we're not doing AI. Paul and me need that. No, no. All right, we're into optics. Basic robot optic system, a color sight system. Don't need that. Advanced robot optic includes color vision, 3D analysis, night sight, infrared, and ultraviolet sight. Infrared, the eye emits a pencil thin beam of infrared. Laser targeting system. Thin beam of light is emitted from the eyes or forehead. Targeting sight, a special system that superimposes target crosshairs at a bonus of +1 to strike. All right. Telescopic vision. Thermo imager and optical heat sensor that converts the infrared radiation of warm objects into a visible image. This device allows the robot or pilot. So there we go. We need a thermo imager. So thermo imager. That's 160 feet. Or no, 1,600 feet. My bad. 180,000. Okay. External video audio surveillance system. High resolution video camera relays images directly to the robot's pilot or video scanners. The small camera can rotate 360 degrees for viewing all around and has a telescopic lens with a 10-time magnification, secured in a concealed housing when not in use. Okay, I like that. We'll go with that. I'm imagining like a submarine that has a little thing that sticks out the top and goes around. That's what I'm imagining. This is going to be the coolest van ever. I'm actually considering this being like the headquarters, like a mobile headquarters for the superheroes. Power suits. Yeah, no, we rolled up. We went with a van. We did roll randomly for that. Oh, thanks, Victor. Yeah, it would cost the same, but do a lot more. You're right about the Tech Unlimited book. Yeah, I think you could like it could be good. You could do probably 180 pages of just Tech Unlimited, and if it made creating the characters like make more sense, I think that would be nice too. Because like this, it's not laid out in a way that I go, okay, I'm doing the vehicle. Oh, but it mixes in the vehicle stuff with the actual robot stuff. And I kind of wish it said, hey, like something in here said this is for this and this type. That would be nice. Um yeah, I noticed that most of the time they usually don't change much in between the books, just the flavor text of the ability. Yeah. How many pages of paper are you at now? I'm still on half a page of this, of the optics. I was keeping track of how much everything costs, and I was like, screw this, I'm writing so much. Can you read that? It might not be clear enough. But yeah, that's what I've written down. For this, I'm gonna have to type it up, all the different things the vehicle can do. Um, a robot was not what I was planning on doing tonight. So this is taking a lot longer than I expected. I'll do a surveillance system, which is 40,000. Video receiver transmitter enables the robot or a robot's pilot to receive and send video and television transmissions. So yes, you can send things. Hello? Isn't this just called Wi-Fi nowadays? Mobile hotspot? Man, I can't like if they did a Tech Unlimited book, like the amount of stuff they'd have to take into account now because of technology nowadays, like that would just be crazy. Black and white exposures on a standard. So there's a camera eye. The robot's eye is really a camera capable of taking color or black and white exposures on a standard roll of 35 millimeter film. A different camera mechanism may be specified, for example, self-developing style film for an additional $500. See, yeah, that doesn't work. Searchlight, we'll put that on here. Built into the vehicle with a 90-degree arc up and down and 180-degree side-to-side rotation. High-powered light beam, 300 feet. And it's $30,000. Spotlight I-beams. Oh, boy. All right, now we're on sensors. Robots take forever. They do. So much crap. So much stuff to worry about. Yes. Paul says the van, bring a mobile home, sounds awesome. Nathan says, and then each individual SDC for each body piece. Right. Yeah, I'm just gonna pick a regular. I'm not even gonna have each piece. I hate that. Then when they retreat, they can shout, "Let's go to the van by the river." Victor says 60 to 90 minutes is what I take to create a Palladium PC in most settings. It depends on what it is. The skills obviously take the most time, usually. In this case, this is taking a lot longer than the skills. I also have to go in and make the pilot. So this is like twice the amount of work. I'm going to hand wave a lot of skills in this because this is supposed to be for beginners. The vehicle, I'm going to type up all of its capabilities. I'm going to try and fit it on one sheet. And yeah, it takes a long time though for a robot. I think I spend maybe 35 minutes if I had to analyze like making an alien character or experiment or whatever. Like 35 minutes. At least that's what it used to be down to. I think the fastest I've ever created was 20 minutes. Um, and I think I went with like the just a bunch of physical skills um, and weapon proficiencies and stuff. Um, all right, sensors, bioscan, computer monitoring of a robot pilot's vital statistics such as respiration, blood pressure, blood loss, etc. Cool. So a bioscan. And that's $50,000. Medical survey kit, computerized medical system tied into the bioscan computer. This complex system will compensate for certain pre-programmed conditions which might afflict the pilot. This includes painkillers, antibiotics, vitamin boosters, adrenaline, a variety of antitoxin poison serums. Yes, it's totally going to have this. Medical survey unit. And that's $500,000. I don't know what we're down to, but we're probably in the $4 million range left. Which, hang on, I gotta figure out where I was. Made a cyborg once. It took me like 2 hours to make. Yeah, I don't put that much thought into characters usually. Paul says, pilot us a normal dude, average stats. His name is Duke. He doesn't leave the van, instant NPC. There you go. Nathan says, I also rolled up the highest budget for it as well. Yeah, see, I usually if I do stuff like that, I don't even use the full budget. Alejandro, which are the strengths of this system? All right, so I briefly explained some like what I like about the system. It's when you're on defense, you're still engaged. There's an active defense. You can parry things, you can dodge, you can entangle, you can take the damage or take the hit. So you're not just sitting there waiting for your turn. That's one thing I love about this system. The other thing I like is the depth of the system. It is a crunchier system in some ways. There's a lot of things about character creation that it takes into account, but a lot of things, not this part, you kind of missed the part earlier on, um, lead to good role playing things. For example, I rolled the type of sponsoring organization, and it was private industry. So maybe it was like a weapons dealer. I think Stark Industries, for example. The character's relationship with the agency was um, he was allowed to leave due to an incident. Doesn't say what incident, but just says due to an incident. And while there's animosity, they will sometimes work alongside each other for common goals, basically. And so it leaves it up to the player. Hey, why'd you leave the organization? What was the incident? Encourages some role play things. So that's some of the stuff I like about it. How about the bioscan is pilots build pilot suit? Alejandro says, I've only played superheroes with mutants and masterminds. Not as many times as I'd wish. So you really like the random aspect that forces people into improv? Well, see, this is the thing. So I'm doing this random. You don't have to play this random. Most of the times, and I had said this earlier too, I allow my players to come up with a concept before we even roll any dice or come up with a character. And from that, we build a character with choices. For the sake of a one shot with people who have never played the game, I'd rather just make it a random thing. Be like, here you go. These are the types of characters you have to choose from. Which one sounds like you'd like? Whatever they decide, then you get that character sheet. So you want a speedster. So when I'm done making the characters, if I have a speedster, you obviously get first dibs on that. But if I don't, like, for instance, and I've made hundreds of characters for this system since '97, um, hundreds easily. The thing I like about the random, because it has tables in here for it to be random, um, it's that if I don't have a concept for everything, I can roll, and it will inspire something. That's what I like about the character creation. But it is a lot of it can be time consuming, especially if you don't know what you're doing. The books aren't laid out the best way. Do I have a solution for that? Not necessarily, because I think because of how much is in here, it's hard to organize these in a way that makes perfect sense. Victor says, we have played a whole night and never had any combat. Yeah, I've played. I'll be honest. I don't like games with zero combat. Um, I think if you're playing a campaign and there's been a lot of combat, mixing it up with no combat or very little is awesome. But I think it depends on the type of players and the game master. Most of the time, I'd prefer some combat though. Micah says, and a good reason for leaving and then being like, yeah, keep that van. Right, right. So they basically just let him take the van. I don't know why, but the player has to come up with that. uh, Nathan says, even if you have zero concept, you can make up a background later, which can be nice. Yeah, for sure. Alejandro, yeah, we like you some violence too, but don't need to be every session. Yeah, I find that it depends on the players. If I have a group of players that get into doesn't have a lot of player agency and um, isn't it doesn't show initiative in trying to investigate things and stuff like that, then if there isn't any combat, um, it is a long, hard session for me to run. So, and I've played with a lot of groups that just aren't heavy role players, unfortunately. All right. Combat computer calculates, stores, and transmits data to the robot or the robot's pilot, heads up display in cockpit. Usually linked to targeting and radar systems. Adds +2 to initiative, +1 to strike on all weapon system, +1 to parry and dodge. Adds 10 targets to simultaneous radar tracking. So, yes, we will go with that. Gosh, we're getting close. Combat computer, which is $900,000. So I think we're down to like $3 million. I love this. Um, Alejandro, amnesia, Paul. But sir, that van go nuclear. CEO shrugs. They'll figure it out. LOL. But what if it fails, sir? That is why it is his now. Another fun thing about combat when you're a GM is that if something throws you off, you just throw a gorilla made out of sentient Greek fire at the PCs to keep them entertained for a little while. Failure is not an option. Yeah, combat sometimes is kind of like a little break, um, to be honest, from all the work. Chemical analysis system. Gosh, this stuff is expensive. We'll do it. We'll do it. Oops. My writing sucks. For some reason, I forgot letters. Oh, man. Chemical analysis system is 550,000. We're probably down to like 250,000 now. Collision warning system will sound an alarm to warn of an impending collision impact. All right. We're totally adding this. We're going to go with the motion detector. and warning system. That's minus 50 grand. And then we're going to go with the Maxi radar system. Yeah, that is necessary. That's minus 600,000. So what are we? $1,400 or 1,400,000. So now we need a weapon of some sort. Because if it doesn't have weapons, that would kind of stink. I rolled up $12,500,000. I think I'm down to 1,500,000. I quit keeping track because I was like, man, I'm writing so much stuff. So now I'm just trying to figure out. It's a van with helicopter wings, all sorts of stuff like that. Yeah, that's what time it is here now. Giant vehicular style robot weapons. All right. Generally, only 2 heavy weapons can be incorporated per 12-foot height, weight, length of the robot. So only 2 heavy weapons. A super shotgun? No. Machine gun, grenade launcher, missile launcher pods, small missile launcher pod with 8 mini missiles. That's 300 grand. Large missile launcher pod, laser cannon. How much is a? Oh wow, that's 3.1 million. A Gatling gun. Nope. So we don't have enough for a laser cannon. We do have enough for small missile launcher pods. Shoots metal eating hamsters. It goes well with the concept. I like the mini missiles. Water balloons filled with acid. Yeah, I think we should go with the small missile launcher pods. And then it has 8 that can be loaded at a time. So it's either 8 mini or 2 short range. Now that costs 300,000, bringing us down to about $1 million left. Shoots Backstreet Boys and sound bombs. I thought there was like a something else. I don't like the super shotgun. The 7.62 machine gun sounds cool. 50 caliber machine gun and a grenade launcher. Those all sound cool. All right, so here we are. I don't know. I might have to come back to that and figure out another weapon later. Other available features: body armor. Body armor costs. Standard is 600 SDC. Players can increase the robot's overall SDC by adding armor. Type 1 vehicular is 1600 STC max. Okay. The armor rating for all robots starts at AR6, but can be increased at a cost of 100,000 per one AR point. So AR is armor rating, by the way. AR6 means that anything that hits a 6 or less goes to the vehicle's SDC. And right now we're at 600 SDC. I can add to the AR with 100,000 per. With max 17. Now again, the SDC though will get withered away. Once the SDC is gone, the vehicle's junk. So just that's something to keep in mind. Special pilot operated systems, telemental helmet. Ooh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. I might use that. More voice actuated controls designed to increase the response time and performance of a robot. Reinforced pilot's compartment. Escape capsule, pressurized cabin, life support unit, radiation shielding, underwater capabilities. Not only does this thing fly, it could go underwater. Flotation device, a refrigerator, for you guys' beers, electric grill, in case you want to cook, microwave, provisions, storage, 10 gallons of water, yada, yada, yada. CD stereo system. Miscellaneous. A self-destruct system. I think I might have to put that on there just because maybe at the end of a one-shot, someone might sacrifice it. Secret compartments, cosmetic enhancements. So that's pretty much all of it. Because I'm on the last page of the robot stuff. Wow, what do you think, guys? Any of that sound interesting? Just need stuff, the empty van cavity with phone books. Morgan Freeman attack. You tell the enemy what you want them to do. Put the sound system to make you sound like Morgan Freeman. Rolling that yellow page is superpower. Enemy surrenders. The grenade launcher is different types of grenades. Right. Yeah, I'm going to come back to that because I feel like I need to add some armor and stuff. Self-destruct fails. Well, that was anticlimactic. Oh, that'd be great. It's the 30% failure. Oh, that's funny. And then as soon as you get back into it to do it again, then it explodes. Don't forget that probe. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. 2, 3, 4. We're gonna go back to that. There's some stuff to think about. I like the life support unit. I like it. Wasn't there? What book was that? Isn't there like is it maybe Aliens, the Aliens Unlimited book where it allows you to create like a headquarters or a spaceship or what is that? It's not Villains. Is it Villains? Because I only have the first edition Villains. Maybe it's in the second edition Villains book. Armor? Why? We can always get us another pilot. Oh. You're a van that flies in slow motion. You need armor. No, the armor shields the people inside of it. So right now it's an AR6. So think of it like as cover. So if you're in the vehicle and someone's trying to shoot you, you have an AR6. You have an armor rating of 6. So they have to roll above a 6 to hit you. Does it? Okay. Yeah, I want to say it was Villains, and that's the one I don't have. I don't have the second edition. I just have first edition. Um, but yeah, so the vehicle provides the armor rating for anybody inside of it. Um, and then if it hits the vehicle, then obviously it's taken STC damage. Right? Isn't that how it would go? Or would the armor rating be for the vehicle? Now I'm confused. Thanks, you've confused me. Or fly away. Why would you just sit there? Just fly the van away. But no, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into. See, and again, there's no like rules about it. Like, there's nothing that states it in this portion. It might be in the beginning in combat, but I don't think it is. I'll have to look. Um, so we could do a pilot's compartment. Nah, we don't need that. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out how I want to do this. I like the idea of a mental helmet and doing it like Professor Xavier from X-Men. I like the escape capsule. Oh, but that can't happen because it needs its own power supply. And I don't think we have the budget for it. The life support unit's good. I think I'm just gonna go with the self destruct. Oh, wait, let's look at the probe. Remote probe, an optics video probe that is concealed inside the robot and launched when needed. It operates by remote control following radio directions from the robot. The basic unit includes a video camera, a telescopic lens that transmits everything it sees and hears. No. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do self destruct system for sure. Which is 80,000. Right, I understand that raises the AR, but does the AR protect the vehicle or does it protect the people inside the vehicle? I think it protects the people inside the vehicle. So if you bypass the armor rating, it shoots into the vehicle. But yeah, because I'm on 210 right now. Um, so there's that. Cosmic. Nope, I don't need any of that. Hmm. The pressurized cabin could make it so if you do sink to the bottom of the water, you still have air inside. So that's cool. We're definitely going to do the life support. Sorry, life support unit. Okay, so for 500,000, we can have underwater capabilities. I think I'm done then. I think we're out of money then. So we're going to do that. We're going to go pressurized cabin. Which is like 200 grand. The thing is, this also makes so you can go into outer space. Now, I don't think that's possible because it's just a helicopter. propelling it, but yeah. Basically, this is like the hero's um, base of operations. So I'm going to go through this after this. I'm going to figure out the math, see if I actually have a budget left. If I do, I might buy another one. Oh, you have to use the SDC first? Okay. I didn't know that. But that doesn't, if it's above the AR, whether it's above or below the AR, you're automatically doing SDC damage to the vehicle then. Right? So I don't know if that would work. I mean, I guess you could do a called shot through the windshield. Right? Space chopper. Oh, it's not a problem, Victor. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make it so that armor, like, obviously, if it's shooting the vehicle, it's gonna do the damage to the vehicle, whether it's above the armor rating or not. But if they're shooting at people inside, it's gonna have to be above the armor rating. I think that's how it's gonna have to be. Right, but the vehicle doesn't have hit points. The people inside of it do. So it's either doing the SDC damage or it's not, right? So it's either hitting the people inside, or it's hitting the vehicle, or it's hitting nothing. Why would the vehicle have hit points? It just has SDC and armor rating, right? Am I wrong? Because I would say the vehicle does not have hit points. Even regular robots, I don't think have hit points. They just have SDC. Yeah, there's nothing about hit points. Because a vehicle doesn't even have all the attributes, unless it's artificial intelligence. Yeah, robot vehicle, roll up as usual, but you're doing it for the pilot character. Um, yeah, it doesn't say anything about hit points for the vehicle. You just have the regular SDC. You know what I should do? Yeah, we have the vehicle. We should totally make an actual robot character as the pilot, as a separate thing, though. Right, a called shot is a -4 or -6. Okay, but then you have the armor rating of 6, so it would actually be you'd have to hit a 12 on the die to hit the people inside of it. To me, with no clue about the game, thinks that sounds right. Okay. So the way the game works, if you're wearing armor, you have an armor rating. So you have hit points, SDC, and an armor rating. So if somebody is shooting you, bullets go to your hit points, not to SDC. So if you're being shot, you have to roll above the armor rating. If you roll below the armor rating, say the armor rating's 12. If you roll below the armor rating, the damage goes to the SDC of the armor. If the armor gets to 0 SDC, the armor's rendered useless. Bad guy shoots at the windshield, has 50 SDC. The damage reach 50 SDC, and then the pilot can be hurt. Gotcha. So you'd have to break through whatever the SDC is first. But see, that still doesn't make sense. I mean, it does. I know what you're saying. Logically, that makes sense. But then what's the point of an armor rating? Like, no matter what, it's going to have to shoot through that. The armor rating is pointless on a vehicle. Why would you up the armor rating? It will never make a difference. But you still have to break through the wall of the armor, right? Does that make sense, Victor, what I'm saying? Ugh. I mean, I would probably rule that, maybe the windows are down or something. I don't know. I don't know how I would rule it right now. I don't know. Yeah, I'm looking right now. I don't see anything else. I'll just have to go through and add this stuff in here. But let's see. Where did the radio scrambler system was under this? Radio signal scrambler system was $10,000. External audio pickup was $10,000. Audio recorder was $5,000. And loudspeaker was $5,000. All right, so I'm going to add this stuff up and see what my budget is. No damage if the roll doesn't beat the armor rating. No damage to the vehicle's SDC. Man, the rules even contradict themselves sometimes. Interesting. Structural damage capacity. Everything has it, even the characters. 10, 20, 30, 40. Plus 150. Inaudible frequency transmission. Did I write that one? I wrote that down. What is that again? It was 80,000. Plus the thermo imager. Plus 50,000. Plus 900. $600 plus 300 plus 80 plus 100. Okay. So that's 4,715,000. So 6 minus 47. No, that's not right. 6421 minus 4. Shoot. 6421. Okay, so actually, at the end of the day, I still have $1,706,000 in my budget. That's still a lot of money. Yeah, I just wish it was consistent. Like the way you do armor rating when it's related to this is different than this. When it's natural body armor, it's different than this. Yes, that's what SDC is, Paul. It's basically until it's rendered useless. Yes. Like I was saying, with a person, you have an SDC, say it's 30, but you have 6 hit points. If I punch you in the face, it goes straight to your SDC, right? Say I roll a d6 and get 6 damage, you're down to 24 SDC. Before your hit points are gone, I have to whittle down your SDC if I'm punching you. If I shoot you with a gun and I do 8 points of damage, it bypasses SDC because it's critical damage, basically, and goes straight to your hit points. And so then you're dead. Punching someone in the face, if you roll a crit, goes, I think, straight to hit points as well. Again, I'm gonna have to read up on the combat rules again. I haven't ran Heroes Unlimited in a few years. But yeah, that's the gist of it. Thanks, Victor. I appreciate you looking into that, by the way. It reduces how much damage the SDC takes with its rating and becomes useless when your SDC is gone. Then it hits hit point or characters directly, I'd guess, in the case of vehicles. It's kind of a soaking mechanic, yes, definitely. Certain things can bypass it. So yeah, you're right. It's a soaking mechanic. That's why I relate it to like a pain threshold when it relates to your character more so than anything else. Okay, so robots have natural AR. Okay, that makes more sense then. Which I knew that rule for natural armor rating. I just didn't realize vehicles and stuff have a natural AR. I kind of hate that, to be honest. Well, then, damn, with my $1 million, I think that's where all of it's going to go is to armor rating and SDC. Because why not? And actually, I'll probably just put it straight into armor rating if that's the case. So if it's 100, so for $1 million, I can get it up to a 16. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. So boom. Actually, $1,100,000, 100,000. That leaves 606 left in the budget. So you're hard to hit in this vehicle. Just run them over. The pilot's going to be principled, I think. Now, SDC. It actually does not tell you how you up the SDC. There's no price for SDC. Oh, yeah, it is. Body armor costs 10,000 per every 10 SDC points, with the following restrictions. So we can go up to 1,600 SDC. We have 600 right now. So up to 1,600, and it's 10,000 per. So it's 1,000 per SDC. So if I have 606,000, that's 606 more SDC. So I can go up to, there we go. Just did it. We've used the full budget and we got up to 1,206 SDC. The vehicle is done. Nope, can't afford the painting. I used all the money. The game's cool. The game is actually a lot of fun. I usually I kind of fly by the seat of my pants with it. I do a lot of hand waving on certain rules. I got one weapon. The only weapon I have is the small missile launcher. So the vehicle, I think, is going to be more for transportation than it is for damage. But yes, I got a small missile launcher with 8 pods. That's what I did. Mini missiles. Yep. Yeah. It's basically a base of operations. That's what it is. It's your mobile base of operations. What I'm probably going to do is give the pilot some weapons and give him like some minor armor, like a flak jacket or something. And yeah, I think it'll be cool. I like it. I think the character this will be cool. Maybe I'll just make it an NPC character. The blood of your enemies. Yeah, I think it's more fun if the vehicle looks rusted. No, I think it's cool. I'm excited. I'm gonna roll for what I'm making tomorrow night because I'm gonna try and do this. Well, it won't be tomorrow night because I have family coming over, so I don't think we'll make one tomorrow night. But so there's the robotics guy. Let's roll randomly to figure out what we'll be making next time. If I don't like it, I'll re-roll. Oh, that was in Powers Unlimited 2 on page 7. $68. Oops. What is 68? Ooh, I don't know if I can do this, but I rolled an immortal. So we will see. Immortals, I think, are pretty powerful. If I remember correctly. I think that kind of puts you in the mega category, mega hero category. I could be wrong. I've done it once and it was a mega hero. And it was my wife's character. We were playing. I let her be a mega hero because we were playing just her and I. We weren't playing with anyone else. But I rolled an immortal. So there's that. Let's roll again. Let's just see what else I get. 8. Symbiotic. So think of like Spawn. And like I said, I may end up just going and making a bunch of characters just for the hell of it and letting people pick. So 66 is another immortal. I don't want to make 2 immortals. 16, empowered. I think that's like a weapon or something, like an item. So this is in HU2. Immortal is in HU2. Symbiotic. Man, all these are in this book right here. Jeez. Nope. Same thing. 76 is eugenics. I'm getting all the new stuff with my rolls. And by new, I mean the stuff that's in Powers Unlimited too. Is the pilot going to be an NPC? I'm not planning on it. The pilot is going to be the player character. Nathan says, "What's the point of rolling?" What do you mean? What's the point of rolling? I don't understand. Mike says, "Earn some cash for the AI. Rent out space for ads on the sides of that bad boy." Micah says, "Rolling up to supervillains like I'm going to stop you today." Brought to you by Carl's Jr. Victor says, "Magic Bloodline, I think, is an Ombre." Paul says, "Ads for the company that the pilot left." Nathan says, "If you don't like it." Well, because I don't want the same thing. I'm trying to get some variety here. I mean, there's what, 12 different, there's 20 different things. So I've got 4 written down right now. 32 is a special training, which would be a good one. I'm probably going to make like 6 different characters. 6 or 8. Oh, shoot. I wrote that wrong. And I've actually got characters from that I made before that were like maxed out strength, maxed out speed, things like that. that I could always pull out too. Natural genius. I don't know. I might just make what I'm inspired to do. Right now, I'm just feeling like rolling randomly for stuff. 98 Gestalt. Three, four, five, six, seven. And that's eugenics again. That's psionics again. That's immortal again. Super invention. Super invention's a cool one. Hell, I could just take a character from like Century Station and tone it down. It's not going to be a campaign. It's going to be a one shot. So that's why I'm providing characters. And I want them to be. I'm going to simplify it so that the players don't have as much at their disposal. So so the pilot, I'm not going to give him any powers. I was going to give him like, a rifle probably and some armor, some basic armor, and that's it. And then he can still do some stuff. He's got expert hand-to-hand fighting. Maybe give him some kind of a bladed weapon of some sort as well, or a blunt weapon actually, or like a club of some sort, and just let it be that. But his main thing would be that. I could make him an NPC. I don't know. I think when I'm done, he might not even be somebody that the players pick. So in order to get the vehicle, they have to pick the character. They won't get the vehicle as a group unless somebody picks that. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know because like another thing I've done in the past too for one shots is I've said, okay, you've got two mutants, an alien, and a what is it? Cybernetics. What is that? Is it physical training where you can get like cybernetic weapons or something in your arm? I think that's what it is. It wasn't bionics and implants. It was actually from physical training, I think. I think that's what it was under. And because you're with an organization or something, it gave you the cybernetics. I'm gonna pull it up. Experiment was a good one too. I like mutants. It reminds me of X-Men. Like that's the other thing I could do. I could just be like, all right, here we go. There's 4 guys with a major and 2 minors, and that's what you're playing. Right there. Boom. And then we just play. So they get the idea of the system more than anything else. Paul says, I wish I could join your game. Too bad schedules conflict. What nights work better for you, Paul? What nights are ideal? It'd be a Friday or Saturday night is what I was thinking, like 8 p.m. Because I need my son to be in bed. He usually doesn't go to bed at 8, to be honest. Tonight it was 9:30. He's almost 3. He's a monster when it comes to going to bed. Yeah, I used to prefer hardware characters a lot. All right, physical training. Let me look. Aggressive deadly combat. Oh, that was defensive and fast combat. Oh, there's different fighting styles. That's not what it was. Gosh, I haven't seen this in a long time. Yeah, that was not what it was. It was not physical training. Not at all. I don't know why I thought it was that. Could it have been an experiment? I don't feel like it was bionics. I feel like it was something else that then led to getting like a bionic weapon. Like it was a gun out of their knuckles or something. It wasn't my character. It was another player in a game I was in, and I liked his character a lot. I love aliens. I really like the alien characters. I like bionics. So let's see. Experiment. Sponsoring organization. Side effects. Super soldier. Rather than roll on table B or table C, the player can opt to build a so-called super soldier described toward the end of this section. I think that's what it was. Super soldier. Super soldier ability table. Bionic implants. There it was. It was the super soldier option under experiments. They're trying to highly skilled, magical, fun. Sundays. Every other Monday and Thursdays at night now. Oh, okay. So if we played like a Thursday night, 8 p.m., you could play. Or a Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, you could play. Is that right? Because I'll make that happen for you, Paul. I'd like you to play. And I think Alejandro has open availability for evenings as well. I would do it Thursday at 9. I think I'm going to, you know what? I think I'm just going to make decisions. So under experiment, I'm going to do a super soldier. We've already got our first character. It's obviously going to be this pilot of some sort to choose from. Pilot, robot pilot. And it's a van. We're going to go with a mutant. We're going to go with an alien. And yeah, we're just going to do that. I'll randomly roll for the stuff involved with these, but I think I'm going to do that. We're still going to try the immortal just because. We've got a normal person, a super soldier, a mutant, an alien, and an immortal so far. And I got to come up with some other choice. Let's do a bionic speedster. No, I don't want to do bionics. I'm not doing that. I don't want to do another thing like that. But one of these characters is going to be a speedster. I like that. No, Paul, I want you to play. You need to play. Yeah, let me. If you have some ideas for some minor powers, I'm okay with that, Victor. If you can come up with some cool ones real quick, I'm all right with that. Oh, like a special training martial arts expert? That might be cool. We'll do special training. I could pull out the ninjas and super spies. What's it called? An ancient master or something like that? I think that's what it is. It's just on the page. Whoops. They're really strong, if I remember right. Aren't they like? They used to be like level 15, and I think second edition toned it down a little. So there's Ancient Master, Hunter, Manhunter, Vigilante, Secret Operative Spy, Stage Magician, Master of Illusion, Super Sleuth, Detective. So Ancient Master. The pilot is Bruce Lee. Yeah, I'll entertain that. Yeah, they are pretty overpowered because I think they start like 6 levels higher. The thing I'm going to try and limit, so I think I'm going to tone down the actions rather than everybody having like 4 actions per round. I feel like if I lowered that, it'd be better. Oh yeah, advanced sight would be good, and so would supervision for sure. All right, so Victor recommended some powers: extraordinary physical prowess, healing factor, supervision, and advanced sight. Supervision and advanced sight would be good. Healing factor, meh. Although I guess if the vehicle fails 30% of the time, that might be good. Physical prowess, yeah, like the reaction. Maybe I'll go that route. So extraordinary PP, 232. Healing, 233. Is supervision, oh, supervision advanced sight is the power. 237. All right, I wrote that down. I'll definitely think about that. Because that might make it a little more fun and still give him some armor or something. But if I give healing factor, I'm definitely not giving any armor. And I probably won't. I'll probably give something like just a pistol for a weapon instead. It might be available. I think it might be now. Palladium didn't used to put their stuff up as PDFs, but it might be up over there now. You can probably check. Um, yeah, I want to simplify the game as much as possible, just because I think every single person playing is new to the system, and I might try to see if my wife wants to play as well. I want to keep it to about a 2-hour session, 8 to 10, or maybe 8:30 to 10:30. But if it's a Thursday night, she probably won't be able to do it because she works the next day. Like I thought about even reducing it down to just each character, even villains, have 2 actions per round, rather than 4, 5, 6 actions per round. Oh yeah, I understand, Paul. Well, what I would do is I would let you have your character sheet, and then we could talk about stuff through chat on Facebook and come up with some things and how it works if you wanted as well. So you wouldn't be completely blind. You would know what your options are, how it plays, things like that. Plus, I have a live play up. You can kind of see how it goes in that. And yes, as Nathan says, you honestly learn easier just by playing, for sure. This system, it sounds like a lot on paper. If you try to read the book, it can be overwhelming. Playing is the best way to figure it out. Oh, that'd be. There's what's that one ability? There's a couple abilities I like. Is that the one where like they can touch a computer and tell everything about it or something like that? The cyberware interlink thing. Is that what that is? Ouch. Is it which powers book? That's in a powers book, I think. That's a minor, or is that major? orange. That's all major. It's not in alphabetical order. Really? I wish they at least put the abilities in order. Man, they didn't do that. They have offensive and defensive. That could be organized better. Is it in this third one? No. I used to love just looking through the Powers Unlimited books and looking for inspiration for characters. Let's see. Those are minor, major. Is it in the core? It must be. Ancient Weapons Master. Hmm. Yes, you can make any type of hero you can think of in this game, and you can make them to a T. Now, I will say that if you actually do the math for like the strongest character, they're not as strong as the Hulk. They're not as strong as Superman. However, like I said, I hand wave stuff to be awesome. So, what I mean by that is if I have a character who wants to be like Superman, strength wise, then I don't make the damage any more than the strongest you can be in this game. But I say, yes, you can lift up that building or whatever. What is it? Yeah, right now I think there's one committed. I haven't even found all my players yet. Um, I've been trying to find some people who'd want to play. Multiple main character? All right. So right now I definitely have either a speedster or acrobat for Alejandro. For Paul, you want a guy who can do multiple man. Okay. You know, the other thing we could do is get a few people in a chat and do it that way. Create characters. Nathan, if you played, what type of character would you want? Do you have a preference? Martial arts? And you've made characters before, so if you even want to make your own, I'm totally cool with that. Just send me a scanned copy. We can do it that way. Or you've played, right? So you have the books. If you want to make it, you can. That's cool. We'll totally do that. I'm not seeing the link. This is all the minors. I thought it was in. Gosh, it's been so long. Okay, so here's majors. That might be a major ability. Control others, control kinetic energy, control radiation, control static electricity, create force field. maybe it's Mechanolink or something? I think that was the name of it. It was like Mechanolink or something like that. No, I think it's like Mechanolink, Victor. Um, Jeez, I gotta find it. It should be on my list in this book. This is Powers Unlimited 3. I'm going through the random tables. Mechanolink. It's in the core book. It's Mechanolink. And that's a major ability. Oh, it's supposed to be in alphabetical order, and it goes from Mimic to Mechanolink. So there's a typo. But anyways, Mechanolink. Bizarre ability that enables the character to link with any kind of machine so that man and machine become one. This means that vehicles respond to a mere thought, adding to their normal ability, and weapons become more precise. Computer merge. The character can merge and communicate with any computer system, regardless of preventative programs, codes, and or defenses. The character has the ability to communicate directly with computers and computer-directed machinery. This also includes robots, modern cars, the ones with onboard computers, and computerized factories. The link can be as direct as touching the machine itself, or can be remote if the machine has some kind of modem telephone link. Once the link is established, the character can examine any of the machine's data or programming and can completely reprogram the machine, forming a mechanical link with a sentient machine, one that has reached the level of self-programming, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And you get a bunch of bonuses because of it. That might make the character really useful, but wouldn't that make the vehicle really OP? I am all for it. But yeah, it would work for him. Yeah, it's a major power. So it would give them a lot of bonuses. So I don't know if I would do that. I'd probably be open to the vision or, um, gosh, I don't know. I'd have to think because I would want it to be like, why would they choose him to be the pilot? Yeah, I don't think I care if something's overpowered because I can always. So I have access to all the Rifts books. And I'm the game master. I can make anything I want more powerful. So it's not the concern. Um, hmm. Yeah, I'll have to think about that one. I'll think on it. Hey, DMG, welcome, buddy. We've made a van vehicle for Palladium Heroes Unlimited. I rolled up a robotics character and rolled randomly for the type of robot, and it ended up being a vehicle that doesn't have AI. And so then had to make a pilot separate, and we're talking about possible powers for the pilot to make him useful when he doesn't have his vehicle. Um, but I'm trying not to make him too overpowered. Um, so I don't know. What about techno form? No, it's too powerful. Anything that allows you to change usually makes your SDC too powerful. Uh, let's see. I don't know, guys. I'm stumped. The pilot is a guarantee in and out. Yeah, but see, there's so many skills. I'm going to be turning down some of the skills too. I want to generalize some of the skills for people who haven't played before, which right now would be just Paul. Like if he had all the skills, he's not even going to look at half of them or probably understand half of them. Yeah, I agree. Those would definitely be the way to go. The thing is with physical prowess, though, you should know this, Victor. Anyone who's played Palladium books, physical prowess, if you wanted to game the system, physical prowess is the way to go. That's what your parry is based off of, I believe, right? Let's see. I'm trying to think. Physical prowess. That's in the core book, I think. It gives you like extra parrying, which is good. Your dodging is better then. And if you can't get hit in Palladium books, then you never die. Like combat's no threat. You also can hit. You're more likely to hit with that ability. So again, it makes you pretty powerful. 2d4 to the physical prowess attribute, 3d4 to the speed attribute, one extra attack, +3 to an automatic dodge. So you get auto dodge. And 10% to physical skills requiring dex, prowess, such as prowl, gymnastics, acrobatics, climb, etc. Yeah, it's a good one. That's the thing. I mean, in that case, I'd rather just give him that power and take away the van. Yeah, let's look at the bonuses from physical prowess at the front. I think it's like really OP. So right now, I think I had him at 15. So let's just assume we got to 19. So we'd have a +2 to parry and dodge and a +2 to strike just from that alone. And then the auto dodge is a +3. So he'd be a +5 to dodge and a +2 to parry and a +2 to strike. That's pretty strong. Yeah, like that's the one the one ability and attribute I will say in Palladium is the OP one. The other thing is if you can get like crazy STC from like alter physical structure to like any metal or anything. So those are always really powerful too. Um, let's see, plasma, ice, let's just look at alter physical structure, ice. Um, yeah, you get like 200 SDC or something, 100 SDC from being ice, liquid, metal. Your armor rating is 17 and your SDC is 800. Metal is ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know. Those are the things I think are pretty OP about Palladium, but I like it. I still like it. And I don't care if something's OP because you can just drop a missile on them. I mean, you're talking about superhumans. If they're fighting anybody, like the government or something, then yeah, here comes the army with missiles. So I don't know. I'm open to the idea of giving him that. Um, I'd probably take away the weapons on the vehicle. So the vehicle is not the weapon anymore. It's just transportation to and from locations. And, I guess 8 missiles isn't bad, and you still have to worry about collateral damage. So I guess there's ways to avoid that being an issue. Nathan says the system is designed that way for a reason, though. Oh, I'm not saying it isn't. I don't have a problem with it not being balanced. I don't have a problem with certain things being inherently more powerful. I'm totally okay with that. I mean, I grew up on this system. From the time that I got into it until about 2009, I didn't even play another system. So 12 years, it was all Palladium for me. So that's just how it was. And again, I don't have a problem with it. I just know if you were playing in a campaign that was set to be really hard, hey, make sure physical prowess is good, or make sure you have armor, like MDC armor if you're playing rifts, or make sure you have a high SDC if you're not playing rifts. Um, it's the same. I mean, the difference is uh, your dodge for range is -10, I think, rather than -5. Um, MDC adds a whole nother level of on top of SDC. So then you have MDC, SDC hit points, and armor rating in there. But you need MDC armor in order to survive against any MDC weapon. So yeah, Palladium's been around since the 80s. It's an old school system. Um, it's known for riffs. Riffs is their number one game line, and it's pretty over the top. They made the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles RPG in the 80s. Um, I think it was the 80s. They lost the rights in the 90s at some point, I think. I think it was around the time the movie's coming out, just after. And because the license went up so much, cost so much more, they couldn't afford to renew it. I'll be honest. Fifth edition is my favorite system right now, but I'll always have a soft spot for Palladium, and I'm excited to run it again soon. So hopefully, I have a good time with that. But um, yeah, no, I like D&D. There's no gripes there. It's a much simpler system for sure. Um, I backed the Savage Rifts Kickstarter. Unfortunately, Savage Worlds is not my favorite system. I prefer Palladium system over Savage Worlds. Um, but yeah, yeah, I liked fifth edition D&D. I liked second edition D&D. Uh, I because my wife ran second edition for us, and then I played in the campaign where her brother ran it for us. I like the system for it. It's fine. Um, I liked. So I thought, how do I say this? So Pathfinder, I started getting into it. The issue I had with that is I always had to look up rules, and no matter what, somebody at the table would say, "No, that's not how it works. It works like this or that," and so then we'd have to go to the book. And at the time, because we're talking about 5 years ago, I think I wasn't comfortable telling people um, that I'll just make a ruling and I'll look up the rule later. DMG. So DMG made a system, the 7D system. It's a pretty simple system. Your difficulty gets easier with the more dice you roll. So maximum difficulty would be like what a single D12. Is that right? And you have to roll a one on the die in order to succeed. Isn't that how it works? So something that wouldn't be as hard to be a 2D12, or 6D6 would be relatively easy compared to that. Is that right, DMG? Does that kind of sum it up? It's been a while since I looked over the PDF, but Savage Worlds, I've played it plenty of times, more than a handful of times. I am not the biggest fan of Savage Worlds. Just saying. I hate how wounds work. I hate how shaken is. Anytime you have a mechanic in a game that makes so you can't do anything for a whole nother round is a terrible mechanic. Just like death saves in fifth edition, I hate that. I also don't like the wild die. I don't like the cards for initiative, and I don't like bennies. So I don't mind how you make a character in Savage Worlds. I don't mind not having hit points. I just don't like the penalties that are associated with a wound, and I don't like being shaken. Those things bother me about Savage Worlds. But yeah, the 7D system is a relatively easy system. for sure. Um, yeah, I did the max amount and then I bought extras for Savage Rifts. I've played with Sean Patrick Fannin a few times. I played in the game alongside him as a player. I love Sean Patrick Fannin, great guy, very smart. I think he designed a very, very good version of Rifts for Savage Worlds. Um, I've played Savage World Supers, Superheroes Companion, and I've played um, Sean Patrick Fannin's setting for Shinetar a couple times. Again, I think Sean Patrick Fannin is a brilliant guy. He writes some great material. Um, he knows what he's talking about. He's good with the Savage World system. I feel for me, the mechanics of Savage Worlds take away narrative from me. I think there are some neat mechanics. I like in Savage Rifts the burn, when you're a juicer. I like how he did the boom gun and the glitter boy. The balance of the classes in that game are fantastic for Rifts. So, extraordinary mental endurance instead of physical prowess. He is fearless for the most part. That would be great. I like that. Um, that would be cool. So he's fearless. When is your weekly game, DMG? What? I'm Eastern time. I don't know if you know the translation or not. Nathan says, I loved the setting for Deadlands Reloaded, but if it wasn't part of Savage Worlds, it would be so much better. Maybe. I don't know. I like the settings for Weird War 1 and 2 and the Rome one. I think those are really cool. Um, I like the idea of using those with riffs. I think that's cool, with Savage Riffs. I think one day I'll probably play a stripped down version of Savage Worlds with my kids. And that's with getting rid of the wild die, getting rid of cards for initiative, and getting rid of penalties for wounds and just eliminating, like, I'll have shaken, but it'll just be like it wouldn't even be shaken. I'll just have 3 levels of wound. And if you hit 3 levels, you're dead. But it's not going to be any penalties. And that's to keep things going. Because once you suffer a level of wound, you're kind of screwed. I'll also get rid of bennies. I don't like bennies. But basically, just a stripped down version of Savage Worlds and Savage Rifts, I think would be perfect. Um, yeah, because I think then you're simplifying the game, and that would just be awesome. I want to I see one day. I still have hope that one day Palladium will change their system a little bit. I mean, I don't want it completely brand new, but I want it also simplified. Like, I don't know if this version of it has it in combat. I'm gonna look. Their old one, and like Ninjas and Super Spies, has tons of actions you can do, but there's no real difference between the types of like kicks. It's like, oh, at this level, you learned this kind of kick. And it's like, okay, cool. What does that do? Nothing different. uh, what is it? Yeah, okay, here it is. Types of holds: an arm hold, a leg hold, uh, body hold, neck hold. No mechanical differences, right? Foot strikes, average human kick attack, 2d4, karate kick attack, 2d6, jump kick, 3d6 times 2, roundhouse kick, 3d6, snap kick, 1d6, wheel kick, 2d6, knee, 1d6. Why? Like, why do you need these different types? Um, like, why would I not go max damage all the time and do a roundhouse kick? I don't understand why I wouldn't do that. So that's one of the things that's kind of weird. Um, you get things like disarm, like you got a lot of options. Leap attack, like there's just so many things. Jump kicks are performed by leaping completely off the ground and attempting to land foot first on an opponent. Jump kicks can be used only by those skilled in hand-to-hand combat. Okay. So I can't do that. Pulled punch. I just feel like there's simpler ways to do these things. Punches, you have a backhand strike, 1d6. A body flip, 1d strike, 1d6. Human fist, 1d4. Karate strike punch, 2d4. Elbow forearm, 1d6. Power punch does double damage dice plus physical strength, but counts as 2 melee attacks, applicable to all hand strikes. But the only one, the karate strike punch, is the only one that is only available to hand-to-hand martial arts. So elbow forearm is the same as a backhand strike. What's the reason to have two separate things? I don't understand that. It's for the flair, I suppose. Yeah, but like the flair should be in the role playing. Like, why would you have mechanical differences for all these things? Again, I love the game. I love the thought they put into it. I feel like it is one of the more realistic simulationist systems out there. They try to make it so accurate, I feel, with reality that they make it super crunchy. And I don't think they hit the mark necessarily with it being perfectly realistic, but again, I love it. I love the the details. I just don't understand. Like, you could list the different types of things for flair without mechanical advantages. Like, oh, doing a snap kick and this. And maybe you get a more powerful kick attack from those things, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Thanks, Victor. I appreciate you. Genesis is the new Fantasy Flight system that they were using for their Star Wars games. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, so I don't know. I kind of hope that they tweak the system a little, because I don't think you need all the flair for the different attacks. It just makes things difficult on the GM when someone's like, "Oh, I want to do a snap kick this time." Well, shoot, how much damage does that do? Like, I don't want to have to go to the book to tell the difference between two different types of kicks. So, like, I'm just gonna be like, "Look, you're using a non-weapon. It's 1d6 damage." Like, that's where house rules come in, or 1d4 probably. If you're doing a special one, yeah, we'll up it. But again, like, it gets so. That's the issue people have with this game. Again, I love it. I love the game. It's an easy game to run. I don't have a GM screen, but that's something that should be on it. But yeah, like, okay, so here, and obviously punches and kicks and stuff go to SDC, so that's one thing. Weapons, like a gun, a 22 caliber does 2d4 damage, but again, that goes to your hit points, so it could kill you in a turn. A 50 caliber rifle, 6d6 damage. Where's the hand-to-hand? I will say this too, the first Heroes Unlimited had much better equipment and vehicles than the second edition. Knives, 1d6, but it's a knife, so it goes straight to hit points. Ugh, excuse me. Yeah. Right, it might be harder than just kicking, but why would you not do it all the time? Like, there's no disadvantage. Like, why would I do a side kick that might be less powerful than a roundhouse kick? If there's no, like, there's no reason I would do a side kick ever, is my point. You'd punch with all 10 guys at once. Yeah, no, we'll definitely come up with that, Paul. Maybe we'll have to hop into a chat and do it together. Make you roll it up. No, I don't know. I'm losing my voice. Blech. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up. It's after 2. I gotta be up in like 4 hours. We got family coming over tomorrow, so I gotta do some cleaning up. But thank you for watching and participating. We need to talk more about Palladium books. Maybe I should focus on the positives and not talk about the stuff I don't like. Yeah, no, dude, that'd be great. We could stream creating your character, a multiple man. We could either go with an experiment or a mutant or an alien for it. So yeah, hey, no problem, Nathan. Add me on Facebook, Lee Patterson. Add me on Facebook. Join my group, Master the Game, and we can talk about more of this there too. And yeah, we can talk about you playing the game. I got you down for possibly a martial artist. So if you want to talk concepts, send me a message, or whatever. If you want to come in and create your character in the chat too that day, we could do that. Like maybe next Thursday or something. All right. So if that's cool, take it easy, guys. Thanks.